is one of the most memorable personalities on television, and he's been on your screen for more than 2 decades.
Wow.
Famously known for shouting, "Tori,
move that buzz."
No, not like that. Okay. Absolutely not like that. Please welcome.
He shook his head.
That was a great rendition. Great rendition. It sounds better than me.
It was a remix.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So Ty, I've been telling my co-hosts here, I'm obsessed with your Instagram. You're hilarious. I love like the hip thrust all the time. What is happening in this video?
Oh, that's falling in love with a canine. That's what that is. Yeah, it's amazing. Like I've got a whole new wife and a whole new puppy, and that's just puppy love. That's also me just trying to look really good in a velour jumpsuit.
Hey, if that's what you're trying to do, you nailed it. You nailed it. So Ty, we got to talk about Extreme Home Makeover Edition. That show reigned supreme for over a decade. Now I got to know, you run into red, Ty. You're a high energy guy. Do you ever take a sick day?
You know what's crazy is, I think when that show ran for 10 years, basically, you're right, a decade, I never had a sick day. In fact, the only sort of, person to ever sort of step in for me was Kermit the Frog, because I was doing so many shows. Back then, you did like 25 episodes a year, which means you had like a week off during this. Anyway, it's a long story. But it was amazing that Kermit filled in for me, because we were doing these hurricane specials too. And my brain was just so like tired that I couldn't remember the names of the families or the people on the bus. And they're like, okay, Paul, that's it. But I never had a sick day. Like, it's crazy, but it was, I think Extreme was probably one of the greatest television shows ever to exist, because as you guys all know, entertainment is entertainment. But when you actually, at the end of the day, really do change someone's life, it's a whole different ballgame. And that's probably why I just kept doing it every day, every week. And I was doing 2 at the same time. So even Ryan Seacrest said, you're the busiest man in show business.
Whoa.
But that would be James Brown, but Ryan would know. Ryan would know.
Right. Well, first of all, it's such a big part of pop culture. Like, it crossed over so many different, intersectionalities of our culture. So after Extreme Makeover came to an end, what kind of things did you do as someone, because you described that schedule. I don't know if people understand how much of an adjustment that is to get back to just normal society after something like that comes to an end.
Yeah, it was interesting, because it was so, it was just every bit of your life, but it wasn't just my life too. You have to understand, like, everybody that was part of that circus. And by the way, we had people that would volunteer to paint a house in Seattle, and they would follow us to Kansas to do the next one. So we had sort of deadhead groupies that were all about paying it forward. So it was amazing. We had a whole family of people that wanted to do positive things. So all of us were dead tired. It wasn't just me. And but I remember seeing people later on, like about 6 months, maybe a year after the show had sort of exited, and they were like, "My God, you look amazing!" And I go, "I slept." And so yeah, it was an interesting sort of time that right after the show was taken off by ABC, which was interesting. But I think you just sort of needed time to reset. And then, of course, I started doing all the things that I've been waiting to do, like build my own house. And it took a lot longer than a week to build my own. But yeah, that's what you do. You finally start doing all those things you didn't do for 10 years that you had on your list.
Let's talk about that. First of all, I also want to say the adrenaline must have been high every week, that you kind of just need to decompress, right? You are in love. You said you never thought you'd get married. Now you are 6 months into marriage with your wife, Kelly. What changed? I think a couple of things happened. One, well, here's the thing about Kelly too. Like, we met 10 years ago on this project that I was producing, and we were attracted to each other, but it was like, I think we certainly knew that I wasn't ready. But it's one of those things where you just sort of connect with somebody. But I think several things happened. The world looked like it was going to end, and also, I think you also sort of meet somebody who knows your past, but just knows you, and just sort of also just, they see something in you that they believe, you know, for longevity. And honestly, after being, I mean, look, like, I think it's the greatest thing that's ever happened to me. Do we really want to like stay alone and live in hotel rooms for the rest of our life? No, that's so, you know, it's interesting. I don't know if I sort of was the Matrix and sort of dodged it for years, but you know, I think everybody deserves to be happy.
Yes.
And so that's what it is, man. Happiness is a lot of people have seen me like they're just like, you're different. I'm like, I know. It's weird.
You're happy, Mazel. You found your person, Ty.
Yeah.
We're so happy that you found Kelly. Now, we have to talk before we let you go. We got to talk about Battle on the Beach. Were there any ideas on the show that even you thought were crazy or just too much?
Well, I mean, look, I come from a background of like, let's face it, Trading Spaces, which was like, what have you done to my kitchen? So I love crazy, but I love, you know, pushing the envelope. And I have to say this season has been great because it's just so competitive. And like, honestly, if Allison wins another kitchen, I'm going to, you know, wear a Speedo over my head instead of my torso. But I'm very competitive too. Like, I have a brother who's a year and a half older than me, so you can imagine just, you know, the competitiveness is real. But what I love about this season is I really had to be the mentor in the sense that I couldn't just sort of save the day, just like, because it's not fair to just say, like, this is how we're going to go because it's my idea. You know, like I was a creative guy who went to art school, and somebody gave me a chance, and I remember them letting me just sort of show my creativity. And without that, you never find your confidence, you never find yourself. And so I didn't want to be the kind of designers who were like, look, you guys, you know, you've got to listen to what I'm saying, whatever. I wanted them to sort of take it as far as they could too, and sometimes that worked out well, and sometimes it didn't.
We're gonna have to wait and see.
Team,
yeah,
you know?
I can't wait.
Ty, what a pleasure. DBL Nation, make sure to check out season 2 of Battle on the Beach, premiering June 5th on HGTV. We'll be right back. Thank you so much,
Thanks, Ty.
Thanks, guys.